Welcome, everyone. This is the Skyler Grant Podcast. I'm Tim Green. I write in the pen name Tim RG. And like I said, this is my channel, and this is the Skyler Grant Podcast, which, if you want to know what that is, it's simply a novel I wrote back in 2013, not 2020, 2013, and I pantsed it for a blog.
Okay.
I finished it in 2014-ish, maybe 2013. It was, I don't know. It took me a while, too, because I'm not a pantser. And Adam, say hi, Adam.
Hello, Adam.
From ZOP Gaming channel, is reading the chapters for me.
I'm purely here to bring some of my audience to your show.
You usually won't live it up to the fact that your channel is finally 19 more subscribers than I do. Oh, yeah, check to see if you got 20, officially 20. Okay. Yeah.
No, we're still at 19. 19. I mean, when this airs, it could be completely different. I could be at 30 over you by this point.
Because I'm not really doing much on my channel at the moment. Anyway, so he's reading a chapter each episode, and then we discuss about it afterwards. What was I thinking? Anything that Adam saw, and he wants to shine a bright spotlight on, and just harp on it. So if you haven't listened to the other episodes, you can go do that now.
Absolutely.
Or you could just challenge yourself, listen to this one, get confused, and then go back out to figure out what was going on.
And continue to be confused.
Yeah, because we're still confused.
All right, yeah. We're going right along with the story. I have characters, and yeah.
Yes, but before we get to the reading of chapter 19, if you go on to enjoy this episode, I'd love it if you would hit that thumbs up. It really helps the channel, and do it as a prayer to the holy algorithm.
The holy algorithm.
And subscribe, because I got writing content on this channel. And with that said, Adam, when you're ready.
Just give me a moment, okay? Let me have a drink. It's time for Skyler Grant, chapter 19. 7 months later. Jenna hit the floor hard with a loud bang. It had been 2 days since Jenna started her training, and she was feeling it throughout her body. She was trying to understand what this had anything to do with unlocking her ability. No matter what she did, she always ended up on the floor, hard. Jenna was ready to give up. Being sore all the time was not something she wanted. She slowly stood back up when Jing attacked. He grabbed her arm, twisted it around her back, and felt a pull in her shoulder, that tidal wave of pain to move through her upper chest. From there, Jing wrapped his arm around the front of her face and pulled her head back. This increased the pressure on the shoulder. Tears started to form in her eyes when Jing jumped up, wrapped his legs around her waist, and fell on his back. The pain was too much. Jenna instantly slapped the floor repeatedly. After the second slap, Jing let go. The pain was gone, but replaced aches. Jenna rolled off to her left shoulder, She could feel Jing hovering over her and staring. "Take a break. You obviously need it," said Jing, turning and walking over to where her dad was sitting and watching. Jenna slowly sat up to see a hand right in front of her face. She looked up to see who was holding it out. She was surprised it was Skyler. He hadn't spoken to her since their little argument a few days ago. She grasped his hand and he pulled her to her feet. "Have you had enough yet?" asked Skyler, letting go of her hand. "No," said Jenna firmly. The desire to give was gone. She knew why he was there. He wanted to rub it in that he was right and was not going to let him. "If that's why you're here, leave?" "Oh, I plan on it. I'm taking a bus back to Angel's Grove tonight." "What?" said Jenna, surprised he was about to head back to the place they were looking for him. "Why?" "I gave Daniels a week to get Hillary and let her go, or I was coming after him. His time was over today." "Wait, Then why aren't you there? Daniels is not going to let her go, and I'm sure he planned something to try to capture me. I will send him something to let him know that they will meet tomorrow with Hillary. Don't you think he will have something planned to capture you in short notice? I'm sure, but I will find them and take them out before meeting him. Then, if Hillary's there, I will take her and hurt Daniels and leave. Do you really think they will just give up on you? If even you free Hillary? No, I need to get Hillary first. Then I will go after Daniels and get the information I need to go right after the people behind it all. How are you going to take them down on your own? You've only begun to see what I can do. When you get a chance, Google explosion in Angels Grove Police Department. I got to get to the bus station. Skyler turned and walked over to where Jing and John were talking. Before reaching them, he turned back to Jenna. Jing is attacking you for you to figure out how to avoid his attacks or stop them and attack back. Until you do that, you will be hitting the ground a lot. Also, just because you stop one attack or avoid one doesn't mean he will stop. Skyler turned and walked over to Jing and John. A moment later, John and Skyler head for the back door. Jing reached John, sitting on the bench, watching them train for nearly an hour. He took a seat next to him, reached down, grabbed his water bottle, and took a few sips before returning it to the floor. Jing could tell that John was doing everything he could to not say anything to him.
"What do you think so far?"
asked Jing. John did not face him. He continued to look over to Skyler and Jenna talking before he answered.
"I think you need to show her some moves to defend herself." "I see. I can't do that." "Why not?" "It is all part of her unlocking her ability."
"How does her getting her ass kicked by you every day help her unlock her ability?"
"There is no one way for someone to unlock their ability. It will happen when it happens. I have learned that you can speed it up by having them do a lot of problem solving. Best way is by kicking their ass and let them figure out to avoid or stop it."
"She's hardly on her feet again before you take her down. How can she even begin to solve it when you give her no time?"
"It is not about time, but repetition. I am doing the same things over and over again. The sooner she realizes it, the sooner she will start trying things to prevent it. Eventually, she will reach a level where I won't have to do repetition, but whatever I want, and she will be able to defend herself. Through this and meditation is how Skyler locked his abilities."
"Really?"
"Oh, and getting a call from his girlfriend and hear her get recaptured."
"So you stuff had nothing to do with it then?"
"My exercises have everything to do with it. Without my training, when he got that call, his anger wouldn't have done anything. I have seen him that mad before, and nothing happened."
John didn't respond. Jing knew he was not happy that his daughter was training. Now he saw what the training involved. He could see that he was even more unhappy about it. They both sat there watching Jenna and Skyler talk before Skyler turned to head their way. Jing decided to ask him what was on his mind.
"When are you going to tell her?"
asked Jing.
"Tell her what?"
John asked, still not looking at Jing.
"The real reason why you and her mom are not living together."
Jean turned and looked at Jing. His face was pale. His eyes were wide, and his jaw hung slightly open.
What do you mean? Don't you remember me? I was the one who saved you, your wife and Jenna's life that night.
John had not chanced to respond. Skyler was walking over to them. Jing figured he did not want him hearing this conversation. In a moment, Skyler was there next to them. He looked at John. Ready to go?
Yep.
John stood up, turned, and headed to the back of the dojo. Skyler followed after him. Jing figured that was enough time for Jenna to rest. He got up and walked over to her. She was sitting up against the wall when he reached her.
Ready?
Skyler turned and walked over to where Jing and John were talking. Before reaching them, he turned back to Jenna. Jing is attacking you for you to figure out how to avoid his attacks or stop them and attack back. Until you do that, you'll be hitting the ground a lot. Also, just because you stop one attack or avoid one, doesn't mean he will stop. Skyler turned and walked over to Jing and John. A moment later, John and Skyler head for the back door. Jing reached John, sitting on the bench, watching them train for nearly an hour. He took a seat next to him, reached down, grabbed his water bottle, and took a few sips before returning it to the floor. Jing could tell that John was doing everything he could to not say anything to him.
What do you think so far?
Asked Jing. John did not face him. He continued to look over to Skyler and Jenna talking before he answered.
I think you need to show her some moves to defend herself. I see. I can't do that. Why not? It is all part of her unlocking her ability. How does her getting her ass kicked by you every day help her unlock her ability? There is no one way for someone to unlock their ability. It will happen when it happens. I have learned that you can speed it up by having them do a lot of problem solving. Best way is by kicking their ass and let them figure out to avoid or stop it. She's hardly on her feet again before you take her down. How can she even begin to solve it when you give her no time? It is not about time, but repetition. I am doing the same things over and over again. The sooner she realizes it, the sooner she will start trying things to prevent it. Eventually, she will reach a level where I won't have to do repetition, but whatever I want, and she will be able to defend herself. Through this and meditation is how Skyler locked his abilities. Really? Oh, and getting a call from his girlfriend and hear her get recaptured. So you stuff had nothing to do with it then. My exercises have everything to do with it. Without my training, when he got that call, his anger wouldn't have done anything. I have seen him that mad before, and nothing happened.
John didn't respond. Jing knew he was not happy that his daughter was training. Now he saw what the training involved. He could see that he was even more unhappy about it. They both sat there watching Jenna and Skyler talk before Skyler turned to head their way. Jing decided to ask him what was on his mind.
When are you going to tell her?
Asked Jing.
Tell her what?
John asked, still not looking at Jing.
The real reason why you and her mom are not living together.
John turned and looked at Jing. His face was pale, His eyes were wide, and his jaw hung slightly open. What do you mean?
Don't you remember me? I was the one who saved you. Your wife and Jenna's life that night.
John had not chanced to respond. Skyler was walking over to them. Jing figured he did not want him hearing this conversation. In a moment, Skyler was there next to them. He looked at John. Ready to go?
Yep.
John stood up, turned, and headed to the back of the dojo. Skyler followed after him. Jing figured that was enough time for Jenna to rest. He got up and walked over to her. She was sitting up against the wall when he reached her.
Ready?
And that's the end of the chapter. To be continued next week.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So, mystery between Jing and Jenna's family.
What?
That's interesting.
Everyone is connected somehow in this young adult novel?
I know.
That's never happened before.
Never. So unique.
I know, absolutely.
First off, I just gotta point out, technically there was a time jump in this chapter that was not labeled.
Oh, there. Yes, I know.
When we switch over to Jing.
Yeah, they're having a conversation.
Yep. So,
After Jenna and, but no, it's during, kind of before. What's going on?
I mean, generally you can do that in
Yeah.
stories, but like it becomes you do it a little bit more obvious. But I'm surprised I didn't put a 2 minutes before.
I know. I'm surprised you didn't do that.
So
30 seconds ago.
Also, I want to point out that apparently Skyler did not unlock his powers. He locked them.
Yes.
Doing this.
Yes, he has locked his powers. He has more powers than the powers he already has.
Yes.
And he had to lock those to unlock these.
Yes, apparently so.
But he didn't know he had those, so he wasn't able to use them.
Exactly.
But they're locked now.
They're locked. He has no
And
access
he
to them.
cannot use them.
Unless he locks the ones he has, so he can then unlock these ones.
Exactly.
That's how clearly it works, right? Yep.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
totally it.
Pointed that out. I was just like, that was like, okay.
But I do like what Jing's doing. He's like, no, I literally keep trying to do the exact same thing, and at some point she's going to stop that, and then I'll try, and then it'll be this thing until she stops that, and then I might start freeforming until she stops it, and she'll be good.
And that'll help her with just thinking out of the moment, like what's coming.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, if I was to rewrite this, I'd have to come up with a better system. But it works for I'm going for a pants novel.
Yeah, totally. It's just Jing beating the crap out of two kids.
And then I just threw in meditation in there for
And meditation.
for just some reason.
And they're like, yeah, the meditation is, oh my God, I got my ass kicked. Oh my God, I got my ass kicked.
I love how John is like, oh, so your shit had nothing to do with Skyler unlocking his powers.
He's like, oh, no, it totally did.
It totally did.
I've seen him way more angry than he
And
was.
it did nothing.
They're like, bullshit.
So that would be the thing I'd have to figure out is how do you unlock this? How do you get there?
Yeah.
But it was funny. It's just like through this and meditation. Oh, and Skyler getting a
phone call from his girlfriend.
And
as she was getting recaptured.
And then immediately get called up.
John's like,
your shit does not do anything.
So it's a traumatic moment that will do it.
Yeah.
All right, just push her off the roof then.
Yeah, just take her to the roof and toss her off.
What the?
Yep.
She's like, wait a second. And she survives. And she's like, oh, I got this ability now. They're like, yeah, you.
But apparently we found out how Skyler's getting around. He's taking a bus.
Yes. He's taking the fastest bus in the world.
Adam, the burning question you've had since the very beginning of the podcast.
Now
you finally have an answer.
Now I have a follow-up question to that.
How's he affording it?
Yes. How is he paying for this?
I'm going to assume that Jing is giving him the money.
Oh, yes, but up to Jing. He was traveling for a bit too.
He took $200 out of his account.
And that's okay.
He took $200 out of his account. I
Yep.
remember this because I listened to this podcast the other day.
Yeah.
Remember,
Took some
hearing-
money. Okay,
I'm
yeah.
Like, oh yeah, okay.
So yeah.
Actually, I think that was the episode that just came out yesterday.
Oh, cool.
So
Now you've spoiled the surprise.
yes, I put a spoilers that everyone needs to know. It's so incorporated into this. Apparently,
They're gonna be like, wait, this was recorded so long ago.
I just love the fact that he can last nearly 6 months on $200.
I know.
That's a major. He knows how to budget.
That's some serious budgeting.
Well, he knows how to turn that the $200 into some major money.
Or theft.
But he's the hero. He can't steal stuff.
Hey, no, sometimes you do have the hero. They're like, in the
No.
moments of desperation, I had to steal a sandwich.
Nope. Just like George Lucas made the choice to make it so that Han fired second. The good guy never does anything bad. It's always a react.
Han isn't a good guy.
Han fired first.
Han fired first.
Yes. And yes, the hero can do bad things.
Yes. Technically, Luke nearly committed a genocide. It was a mass murder.
Technically, yes. And because I love, was it? I think it's in the Big Bang Theories show. It's pointed out that at this point, the Empire has moved away from clones. So that's all people in there.
Exactly.
And you're like, he killed people? Did Luke know that?
Yes.
And I think they like, maybe?
It was a military operation.
So it's like, yeah, he committed a genocide in a sense. When he blew that up.
Mass murder.
So yeah. And
it's a huge space station.
Yeah.
So it had like upwards of 1 million personnel on it.
I can't remember who or where on the YouTube. Someone did a video and guesstimated
By the
roughly
way,
roughly how many people were on that were killed. I can't remember which one.
Crazy amount.
It was like, yeah. By the way, I just want to point this out.
Yeah, we turned this into the Star Wars podcast for a second.
Yeah, I know we did, but I wanted to point this out that I love how Jenna is just sick of being sore all the time after 2 days.
Yes.
Sore, it's not worth being sore all the time. It's in 2 days.
Isn't she also supposed to be a cheerleader?
Yes.
Which means that she is used to falling on the floor hard.
Well, you usually have mats.
Yeah, but still.
Oh, I know.
Wow. Because...
But we don't know her position, though. If she's a flyer, then yes.
Yeah, I'm thinking that she's a flyer.
That's what most people think when you hear cheerleader. Oh, you're a flyer.
Yeah.
Because no one knows.
I don't see her as a base.
No one knows her, what the other positions are, and no one actually thinks that you're always in that position. It's just someone else. Everyone can fly.
Yeah, everyone flies.
Everyone flies in a cheerleading. Not
exactly.
The lightest person.
You got dudes flying. They're getting caught by that 4'9", 97-pound chick.
Exactly.
Who should be the flyer.
Exactly.
She's the base.
I only know the term flyers because there's some kids. My boss, not my boss, my supervisor at my job was a cheerleader, and we have some girls who are competitive cheerleaders for their age, and they've mentioned terms.
It's cheerleading.
So that's how I know some of this stuff.
It's definitely not dance, and it's definitely not gymnastics.
Nope.
But it's both.
But I love the fact that she's tired of being sore only after 2 days.
2 days.
Apparently the stuff she was doing in gym for cheerleading wasn't that painful.
What do they have? Just concrete floor? Whack. Whack. Oh, God.
Who knows? But I will say this.
Even Mick Foley's looking at it going, ooh, that one hurt.
I am interested to find out where this mystery about
Jing
and Jenna ties in. Because I think this is where we learn a little bit more about Jing.
All right. Does Jing... Did he save them from a car accident?
Because I do know we do have a flashback with him visiting someone.
Okay.
And it may have been her. It may have been someone else that we've kind of met but haven't
It's
Presently
19
fast.
out of 40 something chapters. There's
Yep.
still a lot of story to go.
Oh, I know. And I keep just adding it.
You're adding so much lore to this book.
Well, that's Lily. I wrote like a serial.
Oh,
It's
absolutely.
really written like a serial in a sense. Not all the chapters should end the way they do.
No.
Multiple chapters should have been added, merged together, but it's written like a serial.
Oh, absolutely.
Which brings me to the point I was going to tell you. I wanted to do this on here after I figured it out several weeks ago.
Yeah.
I know how, if I was to rewrite this, how I would fix this story.
How?
So the first 2 chapters, present day. From there until we come back to the school back to school with getting Hillary, that's the 6 months that Skyler's away.
And he's training.
He's training. Jenna would be moved into training with him instead of him rescuing her. And
Part of the running away.
yeah, it'd be kind of like, okay, Jing says, okay, I got you. We need to go get this other girl, protect this other girl.
Yep.
Make sure they're safe. And if whatever this mystery turns out to, that is how he knows about her already, and knows how she's in danger. They found her again, or whatever.
Yeah. See, that would make perfect sense.
It would also then make sense why John eventually agrees to go with them, why he eventually lets her train.
It'd be hilarious, though, if you were like, it turns out that John has powers.
And he's like, I've
Nope.
just been hiding them.
Oh, I know for a fact he does not have
I
powers.
turned into a rock monster.
Nope, I
And
know.
then my voice sounds like this.
No. Yeah,
I'm like,
good.
Boom. What's up, baby?
John does not have powers, I can tell you that much.
Oh.
But so I would do that. So basically, this would be learning, and I actually would have it so Skyler and Jenna's powers would unlock around the same time. And when Skyler would get first, but then Jenna would be soon after. And then she would stay to train for a little bit longer while Skyler went to set up to find out if they brought Hillary, scout things, and then her be the ace in the hole because they wouldn't know about her powers yet.
Right.
And then he's going to do that, and then he's running around all this place and like, how is he getting from A to B? Oh no, he's still around the area. He's just hiding because he's good.
Yeah.
He knows the area so well. Also, he's a super genius
Yeah.
because of one of his powers.
He's memorized everything about the
Yeah.
town.
And which means he could also build a hacking radio that he can pay attention to where everyone is,
Yeah.
possibly even know the actual location by pinging it or something like that. So he's there, and then you'd go from there on. But also, like, instead of doing these constant time jumps, or like when we were Daniel's going to find out what happened
Doing
to the
this
team,
4 days earlier, 17
Yeah.
hours after that.
we would do chunks. It'd be like, okay, we're now going to follow Daniel's for the next few chapters.
Yeah.
Then we're coming back to here. Do it that way. You can still do maybe some time jumps in there if I still wanted to do the time jumps at that point.
Yeah. Little
you know-
flashbacks here and there.
But it would be within the context purposely for that stuff.
Yep.
But I figured that out. I'm like, that would make so much more sense.
Well,
But I also have to take in the fact that what I planned on to do, because as I mentioned to you off mic, I found the first 4 to 5 chapters of me rewriting this, and yeah, it's definitely a takeoff me ripping off the Lawyer and Legacy series, in a sense, at the start. I didn't read anything against for the epilogue, the prologue, which is a letter, but so I'm like, I don't know if I continue to rip it off. But based on that, I almost certainly bet I do. So,
it's great.
but yeah. Anything you want to bring up?
No. It was actually a pretty. I mean, it's kind of a close to our previous story.
But with something in between,
Yeah,
which doesn't really belong there.
like this feels like it either could have been the beginning to a new chapter, or the end of a previous chapter before the flashback.
Honestly, I think what we got from chapter 18 should have been removed and saved for a later time, or should have been maybe earlier.
Yeah.
Maybe around the time of we were doing Skyler running away when they were coming to arrest him.
Yeah,
That would have been
boom,
time.
jump back to him meeting Jenna.
Something like that.
I mean, Hillary.
but
I mean, ISIS.
yeah. So do there because this opens up the question of, okay, what's the thing with John?
Yeah.
Mystery and his link to Jing and everything.
And that's for me, yes, that's a great spot to leave off if
Yep.
it's going, oh, there's something between those two guys too.
So
All right, well, let's find out. And then we could,
yeah.
the next arc is about that connection.
Yeah.
Or hinting at it and then revealing it.
Yes. So something like that. But yes, I thought I would bring that up because I've been wanting to put that on mic since I discovered it, and
Yeah.
we took a break from recording for a little while. So
I mean, yeah, we did.
but yeah. Anything you want to add to this chapter?
No, actually, I'm pretty good.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of episode 19, chapter 19 that we're discussing. Let us know in the comment section what you thought of this chapter. Do you like it as well? Thoughts on it? Do you think the placement is good? Do you think it should have removed chapter 18 and made this chapter 18 because of how it ties there? Let us know all that stuff and your thoughts down in the comment section. If you made it this far, I'm assuming you like it, so why not give it a thumbs up as a prayer to the holy algorithm? And subscribe because I have content on here, which I'll put on screen the rest of the chapters for Skyler Grant Podcast. So you can go listen to that if you haven't already. And another video that might best suit you will pop up in there as well.
It's in this corner, or is it in this corner?
It's not even in a corner. It's
kind
of. It's not even
kind of the center.
Not even the center, above center.
Okay,
but
right about here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening. Have a great day. Bye.